Hello, welcome to this podcast series, Lifelong Learning with Dee. My name is Dee, a UK-based Transformational and Mindset Coach. I help people with personal growth and development, as well as career change. In this podcast series, I will explore various subjects such as coaching, spirituality, and personal development. So, in today's episode, I'm going to explore the subject of self-love, and I'm going to break it down into two parts. So the first one is about having a balancing life, and then the second one is more of spiritual in nature. And we all have our own beliefs, and for me, life is all about respect and recognizing our individuality. So if some of you feel like maybe spirituality is not for you, please just stay on for the first part. But you never know, you may get curious about the second part as well. So, self-love. And I feel like everybody around me have been talking about this, especially in this day and age. And when you look at different elements, we're really talking about our physical, mental, emotional well-being, our health, our relationships, our careers, our personal growth and development, etc. And what is self-love? And just like any other concept, in spite of having some general definitions, we all have our unique perspectives about them. And I actually made a video on my YouTube channel, Lifelong Learning with Dee, a couple months ago about self-love, when I said about self-love for me is my unconditional love for my higher self, my soul, who has guided me life after life, as well as my love for this planet. And if you're interested, or if you haven't checked it out, I left the link in the show notes. So now, a few months on, I decided to explore this subject again, and partly because I have been going through this transformational journey myself, where I feel like, in a way, I'm not the same person anymore, because I had a bit of spiritual upgrade for the past few months. But on the other hand, I am still the same person. So there are mainly two things that I want to talk about today. The first one is about balance. So what comes to your mind when the word balance is mentioned? The first thing that comes to my mind is work-life balance. And this is so important to set your own boundaries about your working life, about social media, because as I speak now, sometimes I do check my emails late at night. And if you have listened to the first episode of my podcast, you would know that currently I have my coaching business, 4 content creation projects, which is 2 YouTube channel, 2 podcasts, and an online course going on at the same time. So for me, the weekend is not the weekend as it used to be, compared to when I was an employee of a company. But at least I'm trying to find at least 1.5 days each week just to relax and do my personal things without too much of external distractions. And in terms of my day-to-day, I do exercise, meditation, journaling, going for walks in nature, weather permitting. And despite the fact that I miss living in London a lot, I do appreciate being able to do all these walks in the countryside now. And in terms of travelling, my next trip would be to Portugal, which is a very spiritual place. Now, moving on to the second part, which is about finding the inner peace, about letting go. And in Buddhism, we talk about this emptiness where we were born with nothing. And when the life journey in this physical world ends, nobody can take the material goods away. And for me, personally, I got no idea whether it's to do with the moon, different planets. But when I was just waking up in the morning, I think it was 1st of February, I thought to myself that I'm going to let all the karmic links go. So just to quickly explain the word karma, it's a concept with a few definitions, but in Hinduism and Buddhism, we got the saying of what goes around comes around, and also you must have heard of what you sow is what you reap. So everything comes with consequences, and there's a cause and effect. Now going back to where I was trying to explain to myself, why I had this thought of sudden, and I think the reason being is it's more like a build-up which stemmed from my childhood, and then for the past few years I was going through phases where I was looking for where I used to live in my past lifetime, and ultimately it is an attachment, because I was trying to find answers as to why I am reliving my life over and over again, and why I have to learn all these life lessons all over again. Of course, in each lifetime we do have new lessons as well. And then I realized that it's not realistic, because the people around me are still there. Things are happening every day. I may let certain karmic links go, but not all of it. And I probably don't want to anyway, at least at this stage of my life. But what I could do is to maintain the balance. And I was about to say to love myself more, but actually the love for my soul, my higher self, is eternal. And it's that powerful that nothing, no one can ever break it. And it is timeless. Time is only relative anyway, but it's just such a beautiful feeling that this bond with myself is so special. Anyway, that is my view on self-love, and I think those who resonate will resonate. And please do message me on this podcast about what you think. There are various ways that you can reach out to me. I am on Instagram, YouTube, or you can email me. I will drop the details in the show notes. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I certainly enjoyed recording and editing it. So take care, have a nice week. Speak to you very soon.